So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Now, we have the pet stop with today's Playdays.
It's a play bus! But where does it go? Where does it stop? What's the sign of the lollipop? Stop! It's the patch stop. With Peggy Patch.
Peggy Patch is out today to find a patch to stop and play. Where will it be? Who will she meet? Has the bus stopped at the end of your street? Can you guess where Peggy's got off the bus today? I'll give you some clues. She's at a place where sometimes there's pebbles and sometimes there's sand. And it stretches a long way. And something is always making a noise. Come on, let's have a look. Peggy's on a beach today. And the sound you can hear is the waves as they break onto the shore. Oh, Peggy's off for a game of hide and seek. Why don't you go and see if you can spot her? Have you ever played Ducks and Drakes? It's a good game. Get a nice flat stone like that and you skim it across the water like this. You see how it hops? Good place to find nice flat stones is where the water starts. And also where the water starts, you can get nice, bright, colourful stones as well. Let's see what we can find. Oh, yes. Orangey pink one. There's a white and pink one. Ooh, these look good as well when they're wet. There we go. Orangey colour. When the tide comes in, the beach changes. Sometimes it's sand, and sometimes it's lots of pebbles, which is called shingle. And the shingle goes all the way down the beach. If you come back tomorrow, it could all be sand. Another thing that also changes a lot are the cliffs, because the sea comes in and wears them away. And people say that long ago, a whole village fell into the sea. And that if you're quiet and you listen very carefully, you can still hear the church bells ringing under the water. And these steps have been specially made so you can get to the top of the cliff. Wonder how many there are. Do you want to count? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hello, Peggy. You still playing hide and seek? Oh, where was I? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 steps all the way to the top. Oh, it's a good view from up here too. Can you see the way the sky and the sea meet? That's called the horizon. Oh, look! 2 sailing boats with a big ship crossing behind them. It's enormous, isn't it? And the beach goes all the way down here. There's quite a few people on it today. And way over there in the distance is a nuclear power station which makes electricity. And the cranes around it are building another one. Oh, and can you see the pylons? They take the electricity away to where you live. Do you think they're holding hands? Peggy Patch has found a creature who lives in the cliffs to say hello to. Say hello to this creature. A creature with a long tail and a white bib, who, when it's young, lives in a tunnel in the sand. It's a sand martin. Each of these holes belongs to a sand martin. If we're careful, maybe we'll see one. Oh, there's one, look. Just flying out. Sand martins like the cliffs because every time they fall away, it leaves them fresh sand to dig in. And at the end of the tunnel is their nest. Most of the young ones have flown away now, and Peggy knows what it was like when they were young, waiting to be fed. Peggy Patch has a book. A book about a friend. A friend who has adventures. What happens in the end?
Arthur was a very ordinary dog. He lived in Mrs. Humber's pet shop with many other animals, but Arthur was the only dog. All the other dogs had been sold because dogs were very popular. All the dogs except Arthur. He was just an ordinary brown dog who dearly wanted a home with a pair of old slippers to chew. On Monday morning, Mrs. Humber put some rabbits in the window. By the end of the day, the window was empty, except for Arthur. Nobody wanted an ordinary brown dog. Everybody wanted rabbits. So that night, when all was quiet, Arthur practiced being a rabbit. He practiced eating carrots and poking out his front teeth and making his ears stand up straight. He practiced very hard until he was sure he could be a rabbit. Next morning, Mrs. Humber put some snakes in the window. By the end of the day, the window was empty, except for Arthur. Nobody wanted an ordinary brown dog, not even one who acted like a rabbit. Everybody wanted snakes. So that night, when all was quiet, Arthur practiced being a snake. He practiced hissing and slithering and sliding and looking cool. He practiced very hard until he was sure he could be a snake. Next morning, Mrs. Humber put some fish in the window. By the end of the day, the window was empty, except for Arthur. Nobody wanted an ordinary brown dog, not even one who acted like a rabbit and a snake. Everybody wanted fish. So that night, when all was quiet, Arthur practiced being a fish. He practiced swimming and blowing bubbles and breathing underwater. He practiced very hard until he was sure he could be a fish. Next morning, Mrs. Humber put some cats in the window. By the end of the day, the window was empty, except for Arthur. Nobody wanted an ordinary brown dog, not even one who acted like a rabbit and a snake and a fish. Everybody wanted cats. Arthur felt he would never find a home with a pair of old slippers to chew. Next morning, Mrs. Humber put the rest of her pets in the window. There were 2 hamsters, a cage of mice, 3 canaries, a blue budgerigar, a green frog, 1 sleepy lizard, and Arthur. Arthur jumped on lily pads, squeaked and nibbled cheese, purred, croaked, and even attempted to fly. By the end of the day, the window was empty, except for Arthur. He had collapsed, exhausted, in the corner of the window. Now he was certain he would never find a home, whether he was a rabbit, a snake, a fish, a cat, or a purple, spotty, 3-headed wombat. Arthur decided he might as well be just an ordinary brown dog. Late that afternoon, just before Mrs. Humber was about to close the shop, a man came in with his granddaughter. "Excuse me," said the man. "Melanie tells me that you have a rather extraordinary dog who performs all sorts of tricks." "The only dog I have," replied Mrs. Humber, "is Arthur." "There he is, Grandpa, in the window," said Melanie. She rushed to pick up Arthur, who gave her the biggest, wettest, doggiest lick ever. Arthur knew he had found a home, with a pair of old slippers to chew.
So what else do you know about the sea then? What other sort of things do you know about it? I mean, because it's not very big today, is it? I mean, the waves aren't very big. I mean, do they get big?
Sometimes, yeah, very.
But you've got to be careful, haven't you? Because you can't go out too far, can you?
I can't swim in the sea. Once at the beach mission, the waves came right up to the wall. They came right up, and they were really big. They were about a metre big.
That's quite big, isn't it?
It's smaller than me, though. It's bigger than Andrew and smaller than me.
Oh, that's quite good, isn't it? Oh, stand up then. Let's have a look and see how big that is then.
A metre's about up
You
to
stand
there.
up. You stand up then, and let's see. Right, so the waves were bigger than Andrew, but smaller than you. So they were about sort of there, were they? All right. So what sort of things? What is it on top of the waves? You know when they get really rough and about that high? Do you know what they're called? You know, the crest of a wave. Do you know what it's called? No, not white horses. Have you never heard of them being called white horses? You want to go and see if there's any white horses today then?
There's quite a few, because I can see some from here.
Can you? Oh right. Shall we go and have a look for some then? Shall we go down to the beach and have a look? Okay. Go on then. Let's go walk in there. Be careful because it's not there. Oh! 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 Let's see. You do that. Whoa! Can you jump over the waves? Let's see if we can jump over the waves. Where's it come? Where's it come? Here it comes, here it comes. Where's the other one coming?
There was this highway right up to here.
Where's he off to? Where are you going? Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Did you know that they said that every seventh wave is a big one?
Is that a big one?
This is a big one. This is a big one. One. That was a big one. Oh, it's an even bigger one. And there's an even bigger one. Oh, let's try from that one again.
Look at that one.
That was one. This is number one. Two. Three. That was a big. Always a big one. Four. Five. That was quite a big one.
Just one more.
6. Who's the other one? There's number 7. Is number 7 coming now? Here it comes.
7.
7.
Look at this
This
one.
is a big one.
Look
Oh!
at this one.
Oh, another one. Oh, that's the bigger one than number 7, wasn't it? Peggy Patch's puzzle. Peggy has caught some things in her pool which the tide has brought in. What are they? Did you guess? There was some seaweed. was a shell, which is called a mussel shell, which had a creature inside called a mussel. It was a very small starfish. I think it'll probably get a bit bigger, though. And quite a big crab. I expected Light to go back in the sea. Let's put it back.
White waves are splashing, on the shore they're crashing, washing over pebbles and the ebbing tide will turn white water waves. Ooh, white water waves. White horses dashing, up the beach they're splashing, white foam and in the air, salty cloud of spray, white water waves. Ooh, white water waves. Ooh, white water
Pictures of this, pictures of that. I like your pictures, says Peggy Patch. You painted and coloured them in orange, yellow and blue. I like your pictures, says Peggy. I hope you like doing them too. If you find any stones on the beach, there's quite a few things you can do with them. If you take a dry one, like that, see it's not very colourful, put it in the water, see the way it's changed colour? Well, if you do that with several stones, like that, you've got nice colourful stones then. If you take them, put them on some card and stick it on a box. A bit of decoration. And inside, something that I've made for Peggy. It's a pendant. Don't forget the sand martin. A creature with a long tail and a white bib, who, when it's young, lives in a tunnel in the sand. Oh, there's the bus. Peggy! Come on, you'll have to leave the waves now. The bus is here. Peggy will be out to try and find another patch to stop and play in next week. So we'll see you there.